Quick disclaimer, I say this once in a while because I feel like it needs to be said. I am not a journalist. I don't go out there and report what happens, quote unquote, exclusively. I just go out there and talk about what I want to talk about. And today we are talking about an idea that I saw last night. This tweet was posted at 11-something p.m. on March 19th. I saw it, I slept on it, and today I revisited it in my mind, and I was like, you know what? The more I think about this, the more it makes sense. And the more I think we as a collective fan base might need to open ourselves up to the idea of it happening. Or maybe not. Maybe it's unrealistic. I don't know. Maybe two things can be true at the same time. Today, the Vancouver Canucks are playing off against the St. Louis Blues in what is going to be the most important game of the year. This game is make or break. Regulation win for Vancouver, and everything is set in place. Regulation win for St. Louis, and the Canucks go down the drain. But before talking about that game, I wanted to talk about this. It's a tweet made by EP40 All-Star Sammy Nutsack. Great Twitter account, by the way, in terms of just their username, straight up. But they made this tweet last night, and I wanted to read it to you here. Patty Allvin said he'll be addressing the middle this summer, with Norris and Cousins off the market. I cannot think of a team willing to sell a center iceman besides the New York Islanders. They're looking like they're heading into a rebuild. Will Bo Horvat be a Canuck once again? And this tweet, at the time of recording this audio, has about 16,000 views and a whole bunch of people, 17 now actually, a whole bunch of people going out there and replying with extended positivity. Sammy Nutsack then replies saying this: many teams are desperate for playoff experience. Not too many teams going into rebuilds as we had saw at the deadline. Most teams are looking to make hockey trades, not really for futures. The Islanders, Predators, and the Kraken are the only ones thinking about becoming sellers this offseason. Bo Horvat becomes the most valuable center iceman out of those three teams that are looking to start rebuilding. He makes a lot of sense to me. He drives play, he's a power play bumper, he's got leadership, familiarity, the rising cap makes $8.5 million friendly, he's signed till 2030, leadership again, size and scoring. And the interesting thing is, there are a bunch of people in the replies that are saying, yeah, that's a crazy idea, but whatever, and then there are a bunch saying, you know what, the more I think about it, the more it actually makes sense, and the more this is not a bad take. This show is brought to you by ExpressVPN, by the way. Go out there and check out that first link in the description to save some money on your VPN, get some free months, and support this YouTube channel in the process. Here's why I think it actually does make sense. Firstly, 8.5 million. It's not that bad anymore, really. You think about what the Canucks were offering Brock Boeser. Assume he leaves, okay? Assume he doesn't re-sign in Vancouver and he tries to get the bag elsewhere. I know he had a great game the other night against the Winnipeg Jets. We'll see if that continues today against St. Louis. Not me doubting Brock Boeser again a few hours before game time in hopes that he actually proves me wrong. But if Brock rejected $8 million by 5 years, you can kind of think of Bo Horvat as being just a little bit more than that, except he provides so much more. Bo Horvat is also a goal scorer. He's also a two-way center. He can also win draws. He can also play a north-south sniper game. He plays pretty much the exact way that Rick Tocchet wants his guys to play. Ultimately, I think the stylistic fit of what Bo is as a hockey player fits almost seamlessly with the profile of the Vancouver Canucks as a team that could use a guy in the bumper spot and a sniper who can do some really good things at 5v5. That is almost exactly what Rick Tocchet wants. And he is there on a team that might be going down the drain soon in terms of selling all their older assets. Now, you can say there are some other names that maybe the Canucks should be targeting from the Islanders instead. A Matty Barzal, Brock Nelson was already traded, but Bo Horvat. I like the sound of that, oddly enough. And it fits with what Vancouver wants to build right now, too. They need center support. There are only a few other centers that you could say would be available in the offseason on a team that's willing to sell a center or via a free agent. Matt Duchene is probably going to leave in Dallas. Are the Canucks going to be in on him? We had seen Jared McCann in Seattle as a potential option, although if I had to choose one or the other, McCann or Bo, I'd say Bo is probably the more valuable player. I just think that he's a lot more of a seamless fit than any of those other guys. Is that the familiarity factor coming in here? I don't know. Is that my biased Canucks fandom wanting to see 50-goal pace Bo Horvat suit up with a Canucks sweater one more time? Maybe. And I get there also is an argument to be had as to whether or not he would waive to come to the Vancouver Canucks. It's actually talked about here in the replies of this tweet. Respectfully, he's not waiving to come here. Things are different with JT Miller gone. Bo apparently disagreed with JT's leadership style. If Alvin and co. make a strong pitch to him and his no movement comes with him to Vancouver, he could see that even though there were some tough years here, he still has relationships. I don't think he'd be a fan of being traded as the captain and then coming back. I understand that, but many players have gone back to their previous teams in the past. Prime example with JT Miller. I hope he still has some appreciation for Vancouver because he is a solid fit. And maybe if you wanted to put a Filip Chytil in your middle to bottom six, or you wanted to try Pius Suter as a winger full-time, you could get some meaningful results there. And I know you could say, oh, you don't want to put Filip Chytil in the bottom six. That's the entire problem that he had with the Rangers. I think the problem that he had with the Rangers was that he couldn't stay healthy. And now we're starting to see that a little bit more with the Vancouver side of things. Hell, if you really want the pace of play of a Filip Chytil to be a primary focus on the Canucks forward core, try Chytil out on the wing. That's not impossible. I think he might excel as a winger, given more free space along the wings and room to maneuver without caring too much about back-checking. I don't know, if you wanted to try Chytil with a Horvat or something, that doesn't sound too illogical in my opinion. There are conversations in the replies as well, whether or not McCann would be a better fit or Barzal. Anybody else who is a center option available for Alvin in the summer. And also, the idea pops up as to whether or not Brock Boeser comes back, because if Brock leaves, then all of a sudden that's a lot of extra cap space freed up here. I mean, ideally, you would want to see Brock and Bo on the same line together one more time. Remember the BBB line? Berkly, Bo, and Brock that was taken over the league back in 2017-18? That was a really big deal. Heck, there were a lot of really interesting Bo Horvat and Sven Berkly lines. I'm thinking about the Flying V line with Jake Virtanen, Sven Berkly, and Bo Horvat. Then you also had the Ronald's Kennens connection. Oh man, I'm getting nostalgic. Guys, this is bad here. I think it's only a distasteful idea in the minds of some Canucks fans because Bo Horvat happened to have been the former captain here. There was a reply on this Twitter thread that said something to the effect of, if Bo Horvat was not the gosh darn captain of this team for so long and he wasn't a former Canuck, Canucks fans would be all over the acquisition of that kind of guy on this team right now. It really is just a stylistic fit if you wanted to talk about the best targets available. So, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Is Bo Horvat a legitimate target for the Vancouver Canucks in terms of what it is they want to build? How well does he fit that mold? And would you do it? We're not even getting into the price here, what it would cost, what prospects or picks or other roster players it would cost. We're just saying Bo to Van. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.